If you look at the City Council, 54 City Councillors, visually white, visually mostly middle class, visually mostly looking after themselves. You know, that's how most people would describe councillors and politicians. I hope that that's not what I'm doing. But actually, in 2019, we have got to change things. We can't have things staying the same. Because when things stay the same, things don't improve. You know, we know that there's improvement to see in this city. I'm really proud to be the leader of the City Council for the Labour and Cooperative Group in Brighton and Hove. Okay, because Brighton and Hove is more tolerant than most parts of the UK. Brighton and Hove is more multicultural and is more acceptant than most parts of the UK. But it doesn't mean that it's perfect. And there's still much more to do. I'll tell you about my week last week. I had two interesting meetings, both in my community. I live in Moulscombe and I represent Moulscombe and Bevendine on the City Council. Yesterday I went along to a fun day at St George's Hall where the Bangladeshi Women's Group meets, you know, where lots of other community groups meet. And it was really good. There were a range of communities from across North Moulscombe there, all celebrating everything that happens through that community facility, all the different groups, all the opportunities to deliver services, all of the fundraising opportunities, as well as just having fun. You know, kids just there on the bouncy castles and eating sweets. That's the important thing in life. And in sunny weather, that's the most important thing in life. That was brilliant. That's what I like to see about Brighton and Hove. But in Moulscombe on Wednesday night, I went to a tenants meeting. And I went to a tenants meeting where one of the tenants felt it was perfectly acceptable to say there's too many foreigners in our city. Felt it was acceptable to complain that we were taking 10 more Syrian families as part of Refugee Week, and thought that that was a disgrace, and thought that that was keeping his families and his friends out of accommodation, which it isn't, because all of the Syrian families' accommodation is accommodation that's been provided out of the private sector, and often it's been pieces of accommodation that haven't been available in the city before. So it's really positive, I think, to see Syrian families moving here. And whether they're moving here to stay here forever, or whether they're moving here just to seek sanctuary for a period of time, I welcome them. I can welcome everyone to the city. But it's a disgrace that anyone, especially someone who's been born and bred in Brighton and Hove, feels it's acceptable to say in a meeting that there's too many foreigners, that people speak too many languages, that he doesn't hear English voices. That's populism at its worst. Now, I do think that's got worse since the decision about leaving the EU. I do think that people feel that they've got greater reign, greater opportunity to say the things that they've always kept inside their heads, but to feel that they can say them out loud. Well, I don't want them having them inside their heads or speaking them out loud. I'd like everybody to be tolerant and welcoming. I can only do that one step at a time. But one of the most important things we have to do is to see that when Labour win the City Council, when we get more than half of the councillors on the City Council next year, that we're not just a sea of what appears to be white, privileged, middle class, you know, frequently middle-aged or older councillors. Because although we've done a lot in terms of equality in the council, you know, and I'm proud to say that I lead an administration that's got more women than men in it, we haven't done enough. Because we haven't done enough if there's a single voice in the city that feels that it's acceptable to be racist. Whether it's racist thoughts, racist actions, it's unacceptable. You know, we have to, as a city council, do more. We have to, on behalf of all of our communities, do more. But we have to see everybody in the city playing its part. It's absolutely right to say that starts at school. Okay, because schools are where there is a focus in some schools of issues at the moment. And we have to deal with that. We have to help children understand that. The thing that helped me understand multiculturalism best when I was going to school was being told about my great-great-grandfather coming to this country from abroad. You know, him not even having a birth certificate in this country, just being known as Black George. You know, so I don't know where he came from in the world. I suppose these days I could take a genetic test. But I'm proud of him because he made his life in this country. You know, and if he hadn't made his life in this country, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be the leader of the City Council. I wouldn't be able to say to all of you, when it comes to voting, when it comes to taking part in all of the aspects of community and civil life, you're all welcome. You're all welcome to get involved. I want you all to be involved at whatever level you want to be involved. Because I don't just want it to be people that are visibly white, visibly middle-aged, and visibly middle class who are doing it, because they will never be able to do it as well as the broad range of communities across this city.